everyone, this is Arubisht. A warm welcome once again to Hyderabad Runners weekly webinar series Beyond the Track. We hope you're taking all the measures to stay safe and healthy. Hyderabad Runners promotes running, fitness, and active lifestyles through its thousands of volunteers, mentors, and ambassadors. Couch to 5K, Club Run, Outdoor Kids, Train and Shine, Kids Run, and our signature Airtel Hyderabad Marathon (AHM) are just a few of our initiatives. In our endeavor to keep you constantly aware and educated, we bring you Beyond the Track, a 1 hour live webinar series of conversations with some of the highly distinguished experts from running and sports field to help you all equipped with both theoretical knowledge and practical training. This is also Women's Month, so we have all webinars of this month dedicated to women achievers. In this 46th episode of Beyond the Track, we are honored to connect you to two very inspiring women. Radha Krishnaswamy, a strength and conditioning expert, is the head coach of SNC Academy, and Pervin Batliwala is a marathon runner, a Boston finisher, and the first Indian above the age of 60 to complete comrades. As we endeavor to create a smooth and learning experience for you all, continue to post your questions to them in the comments section. Sagarika Melkote is a runner and one of the founder members of Hyderabad Runner Society. She will be interacting with our guest and facilitating today's session. Without further ado, I'd like to invite her to introduce our speakers for today. Over to you, Sagarika.
Thanks so much, Aru. Little sound check. I hope I'm audible to all. Good evening. Welcome to Saturday Night Fever, aka BTT, Beyond the Track, a series of webinars which we have every weekend. Now, I hope you're all staying safe and healthy, and so are your families. The debut marathon for all of us is a very, very special thing. I'm sure you'll all agree. But to have made your debut in, say, SEMM as a senior veteran runner, and then having gone from there to bigger and greater things is not something that everybody can boast of. There was a quote I read somewhere which said, "Old enough to know better, young enough to do it anyway." Joining me tonight are two remarkable ladies, Pervin Batliwala from Mumbai and Radha Krishnaswamy from Bangalore, who completely exemplify this. A little bit about them before we move on to speaking with them. I'm sure you'll really enjoy this session, and keeping in view it's the Women's Month, we're going to be having a series of women-centric webinars from here onwards. This is the start of them. Pervin Batliwala from Mumbai started running in the year 2006 with the SEMM and hasn't looked back since. At this time, she can boast of 14 full marathons, 2 ultras, and 47 half marathons under her belt. She ran comrades at the age of 60 and she was placed 15th in her category. She qualified and ran Boston at 62 years in 2017 with a PB of 4 hours and 16 minutes. She's the only Indian to have been placed in the top 100 in her category at the 79th position. In 2016, she ran the ultra-tough Khardungla marathon, and she was a podium finisher, coming first in the women's veteran category. Her PB has been a sub-2 at the Delhi half marathon. She has finished Berlin, London, and New York. She has Tokyo and Chicago left, which she was aiming at in the year 2020, but COVID had other plans for all of us. So she will finish this in 2021, and she will be getting her medal after that. And we have with us this evening Radha Krishnaswamy, who Aru mentioned is a strength training and conditioning specialist. And she's been the physical fitness trainer to the Indian women's cricket team, which made it to the final of the World Cup in 2017. She has been a track and field athlete in her school years. She started with non-timed races when she was about 45 years old, moving on to making her full marathon debut at the SEMM in 2011. She was a podium finisher for 2 consecutive years. To date, she has run about 25 half and full marathons. She was also a trainer with the under-19 girls team in Mumbai and senior women's cricket team of Tamil Nadu. At present, she lives in Bangalore and manages 2 gyms for children between the ages of 10 and 17. So we will begin if you're ready, ladies. Welcome to our show. I'm sure they're all waiting to hear from you. Let's begin with the obvious, shall we? The how and why of it. How did all this happen? Why running? How did it happen? I'd like to hear from both of you on that.
Okay, so I'll start. So I'm 66 years just now, and I always say that age is just a number. Okay, so I have always been into fitness. I have done swimming, yoga, dancing, gym, and finally it was Savio D'Souza, who our trainer, who came to Hindustan Unilever, where I worked for 33 years. And he was appointed just for fitness. So we used to do some stretching and all. And finally, he said, now come on the road. And that's when I just started running. And 2006, I did my first Bombay half marathon. That's how I started.
I started at the age of 12. I am completing 66 tomorrow, going on to 67. And to my teacher, my PT teacher, Ms. Kunjama, who is no more now, she found some talent in me and then she put me on to athletics. And then I represented the state and the universities till I got married. And then I continued running just to keep my weight under check, because by then I had 2 boys and I had to continue running. So I enjoyed running, not for competition, just to, for love of running, I was running. And then I started in 2000. I wanted to try a marathon and see how it feels. I've shifted from short running distance to distance running, which is something new. So I would like to thank Dr. Kannan Pugarendi for training me into run patiently for 2 hours, the half marathon. And thanks to Ram Vishwanathan, the founder of Chennai Runners Group, which is the oldest running group in India, he believed in me and he said I should transform from half marathon to full marathon. I didn't have the guts to do it, but he believed in, and I said, if some senior person saying it, then I should try. And then I tried the full marathon, just like Pervin in Mumbai. Before that, I had done many half marathons in Delhi. I lived in Delhi for a while. So my journey started from short distance running to athletics to long distance running until today. My last race is SEM Tata Mumbai again. After that, COVID came, and I'm just now keeping my fingers crossed, because at 66, whether we will be still allowed in the next race, I don't know, because senior citizens are not yet allowed in the gyms also. So, but I'll continue to run, and hopefully one day we both will get our dreams completed.
Okay, Sagarika, I would like to add one thing.
Yes,
that I started everything very late in life. At 40, I started going to the discos. At 45, I got married. At 50, I started running. And 60, I did my comrades. And at 61, the Khardungla challenge. So I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, so that's why I said at the beginning, old enough to know better, young enough to do it anyway. I think there's nobody who exemplifies this more than the 2 of you. So how did you feel at the debut marathon, both of you? You must have been amongst the senior veteran ladies, of course, and I wouldn't imagine there were too many of them at that time. So how did you feel? Was there any element of self-doubt? There always is when you're standing at the start line, but was more so in your case because both of you were at the senior veterans category. So how did you feel at the debut?
Okay, so 2006, I did my Bombay marathon, half marathon, which was my first ever marathon. Okay, and I was really very excited, and I was a little overconfident. Like people used to say, you run very well. So I became a little overconfident, and there was music at the beginning of the marathon. So I went a little crazy. I started dancing and all. And when the race started, I just simply went all out. So at half distance, I was fine. Coming back at Babulnath, I think everybody knows the route.
Yes.
So at Babulnath, I started, my energy level started falling. And my husband always joins me over there. So Khushru joined me and he told me, he said, Pervin, have some water, have something to eat. I said, no, I just want to finish the race. At Chopati, I hit the wall. Okay. I was not able to take a step forward. Then he said, okay, afterward, 15 minutes, I was fine to walk. So he said, let's go home. I said, no, there are two reasons why I will not leave this race. One is I have to finish the race, which I have started. And the second was to give us a timing chip, which you have to return immediately after the race. So then you get your money back, some 400, 500 rupees. I said, I want my money back. We walked the whole distance. I finished the race. I got my money. Then they used to give us a certificate, the timing certificate that time only. Then I showed it to Savio, who was my coach. And he said, you are a mad woman. Why did you run so fast? And you never hydrated, you never ate anything. So naturally you hit the wall. That was my learning point. That was my first marathon and I learned a lot from it. So I always say, where you stumble and fall, there you will find gold. So like I really found gold. I knew how to time my other marathons. And that same year I went to Delhi and I got a podium. So that is how my first marathon went. A point where I learned a lot.
Okay, my first marathon went very smoothly because I had trained under a sports medicine doctor. So I knew that I would be able to finish and I had some friends along with me. So we were chit-chatting and it was not a timed race, I think, in 2000. So in Chennai. So my race went comfortably. So far, I only run few races. I don't like many numbers because each one I would like to do my best and I train for it. So I select only the best races in town, in the country, because I did bad experience of running races where the participants were not monitored, there were not enough hydration, and people were going haywire, some falling here, some falling there, and stuff like that. So then I decided I will not go to races where it is not done properly. So I only go for Bombay, Delhi, and Bangalore, all by ProCam. I am yet to go to Hyderabad, even though that is the best organized race. Everybody tells me, including my sister, who already finished her race there. So I promised Rajesh that I will come one day and run that one and not any other. But I've been having good experience because I planned very well. I didn't hit the wall or no cramps, nothing. Even when I went for full, I slowed down my pace just to ensure that I don't stop anywhere and see the finish line. So the first race was a little slower. The second I learned, like her, she said, I learned in the second one. The first one, I didn't want to take it off because if I had done that, probably I would have stopped at Babulnath or even much earlier. You know, the last bit is the hardest part. So since I have an athletic background, we plan very much in advance, you know. So that has been my experience so far, and hopefully I'll be able to carry it through.
Right. The bane of most Indians on today is these health issues like diabetes and hypertension. Plus, you two ladies are also, you made your running debut at an age, and you're at an age where most women are battling menopausal issues, bone brittleness, and associated disorders. How would you say running has been beneficial? Has it helped in beating these issues? And if so, how?
Okay, so my mom used to have very acute osteoporosis and all. It would have come down to me because my bone density also is not so good. Once I started running, my bone density started improving little by little. So I think I have benefited, and even health-wise, touch wood, I have no problems at all. Like, it's a very healthy life because there is a lot of discipline that goes into the marathons. So I don't think we have any problems as such. So that was my only, the bone density was my problem.
Right. So you've the hypertension, diabetes, which I mentioned are the bane of most Indians today. You've never had to, wage a battle.
No, nothing.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Probably all the running and training helped keep them at bay as well. Would you say that?
It does.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
In my case, my parents both are BP patients. My father is no more. He died of heart attack. And my mother is on insulin for a very, very long time. And all my sisters, everybody is in the borderline. I knew this from the beginning. One day it's going to catch up with me also. But since I told you, I started as an athlete and then continued my running, then went into group exercise. There is no stop anywhere in my last 50 years of experience. Something or other I'm up to. Then I became a conditioning coach, then started a marathon in 2000. So I'm able to keep away from blood pressure, which is the hereditary thing in my family, sugar, any of these issues. So I also tell people at the age of 50, when people go through menopausal symptoms, I tell them pick up strength training, pick up running, walking, something, so that you can pass off that phase comfortably without side effects. A lot of people put on weight, a lot of people go into depression, a lot of people have sleepless nights, and you find dark circles everywhere, and hair loss, which is very common, which you don't want at that age. You will start looking like 60 and 70 at 50 itself. So I tell all my friends and my co-runners, everybody, continue to do something so that you can pass that phase very easily. So it's any activity. It need not be like she said, dancing is great, even to pick up, start at that age. Dancing, running, walking, anything. Any physical activity where your body weight is on your knees and ankles and hips will do a great help even at 70 and 80. You can do your own activity. You don't have to depend on anybody. When so many people are dependent on their children or someone else to take care of them, here we are taking care of everybody else in the family. Both the in-laws and the children and their grandchildren. My grandchildren, I had a grandchild 2-3 years ago. So I was able to do everything for her, keep awake in the night. And I said, my running is giving me strength to do everything as a grandmother.
Fantastic. So great to hear. So, given your family history, you've been able to beat the hypertension and whatever diabetes with the help of all this. So, Radha, tell me, you've pursued fitness as a career. You've been a track and field athlete in your school days, and then moved on to picking up fitness as a career path for yourself. So was running a natural transition? I'm sure it was very different from what you did in your school and college days, running on the track and stuff. But running long distance is a different ballgame altogether. So how did that transition happen? How was it? Was it an easy one? Because given your level of fitness was already very high, did it come easy, or did you have
transition was very easy, thanks to Dr. Kannan, because I need to pace, look for the distance and cover, have a plan about first 5K, what time should I be doing, second 5K, what should I be doing, when should I go negative, when should I go positive. So there were people mentoring me, and the transition was easy. As I told you, between my college, university days and the actual marathon, in between 10-15 years, I was sitting at home taking care of children, and I gave up my job because they both are boys. So they were in high school. So at that time, just to keep fit so that I can keep diseases off, I had to do some jogging and running. So that way, slowly I transformed from a sprinter to a slow long distance runner. Though I wasn't working on timing and all that, the transition was happening slowly. So it smoothly went into completing a marathon. So my training wasn't that difficult. Or transition wasn't difficult at all for me.
But it's also a whole new mindset, isn't it? To move from a very fast short race.
Yeah, that's true.
So here's to both of you now. Would you care to share some? I'm sure our viewers are waiting to hear from you. Would you care to share some memories, some wow moments, whatever, good, bad and the ugly from all your years of running, and maybe that one moment from all your runs that made you go, yes, I did it, kind of thing?
Yeah, my wow moment was the Khardungla challenge. Like, it was a real challenge. I went to Leh 15 days before the run. I did this thing. I went up to 12,000 feet to acclimatize and do some treks. And it was the Khardungla challenge is a real challenge. It is, you go from the Khardung village up to 18,000 feet, where oxygen level is really rare. And I had never trained for this sort of a challenge, so it was good. And it was a challenge of the mind and the body every time I was running, because the race starts at 3 o'clock in the morning, which is very early to eat. And halfway through, my energy level fell a bit, but I managed to finish the race in a very good time. The cutoff was 14 hours. I did it in 13 hours, 15 minutes. And once I finished the race, that was my wow moment, because it was, it was very good. I was very happy for it. And I will tell you about my Bhutan run, which was last year, March. So that was my last run before the COVID started.
Yeah.
And after the halfway mark, my hamstring started giving way. But I have this problem of not giving up a race. But I will always advise people that if you have a problem during the race, take a proper call. You either quit, because quitting is also a very courageous thing. Everybody is not cut out to do that. Or you carry on, but at a particular pace. So what I did the last 17 kilometers, I just walked. I walked and finished the race. So it was like, I couldn't finish the race in the time which I had estimated, but still I finished the race. So that was a great thing. So I was very happy for that. That's it.
And you, Radha?
My first full marathon at Bombay, I think it's 2011 or 12. I like that finishing part, because I never thought I will run 2 half marathons one after another. To me, it feels like that. Finish 1 half marathon and start another half marathon is full marathon, right? So I always had this block that I can never do, because I'm very good at half. I thought I will not even be able to finish. I've heard people cramping at 38, 37 and stopping and not going. So a lot of stories I heard, and I said, I'm never going to plan for that. But some people helped me to train properly. And then when I went, I told myself, I'm not going to stop anywhere. Even if I have to walk, roll, do whatever, I will still do all that and then go finish, see the line. But fortunately, I had paced myself so well that I didn't have to stop, no cramping, nothing. So when I finished, I was so happy. Second time, I could plan much better. So I think it's all, as she says, it's all in the planning. And even if you have to walk, roll, do something and finish the race, and don't try to run and be too smart and then cramp totally and stop halfway through. That didn't happen. So I think all this comes with experience, what you need to do. And see, you can see me crying almost at the end, not able to finish, but I still managed something.
Right.
So every race is a learning experience. So every time we learn something new. And the bad experience is not, I wouldn't say bad. Nothing was bad so far. The last Tata Mumbai Marathon, I had no friends. I don't know why. I didn't connect with many people. So when I went, I ran the race alone. And even after that, I only had my cousin who had finished little ahead of me and my sister in the 10K. But otherwise, I felt a little lonely. Maybe because I gave a gap of 2-3 years in between this race and the previous races, because I was traveling with the Indian women cricket team. So I didn't have the, in between, I lost 3 years. So my connectivity with other Bombay runners and Chennai runners got cut. So maybe, if I start again, all my friends will be there. So next time Pervin is there in Bombay for me.
Sure.
All on her. And
Yeah. So Pervin, 2015 and 16, 2 years, when you did back-to-back comrades followed by Khardungla, am I right? The two ultras back-to-back, two consecutive years. So, I mean, these are, I think, the mother of all races. And you were 60 and 61 when you attempted these. So, did you see any kind of, I know one is at a higher altitude and one is like a hill up and down kind of thing, but still, did you see any kind of similarity between these two races, and did you prepare accordingly? Did you have any idea of what you were getting into before that? You did mention earlier that you prepared very well for a run, but between Khardungla and Comrades, two really tough ones, did you see anything at all?
Comrades is a tough race. I had chewed up the brains of a lot of people before I entered the race. So, and you know, I had just become 60. So people were thinking, even my husband said, why do you want to do Comrades now? Just wait for some time. But I had made up my mind. So then Sandeep Bhandarkar, who became my coach at that time, he came into my life, and he started giving me the program for Comrades. And everybody said, just do it next year. But I was bent on doing it at 60 only. So I started training, and we have to do 3 long runs in Lonavala. That is 56 kilometers, 65 and 56. So the first 56 kilometers I finished, and everybody started believing that I can do it. And after that, there was no stopping. I had so much support, you won't believe that one day I went from my house in the morning, not knowing what was happening. Everybody had collected, and they had made a T-shirt with saying Team Pervin, and everybody ran with me. So it was such a good feeling, you know. I mean, that race was amazing. And I must mention a friend, Kashyap Modi. He ran all the 3 Lonavala runs with me. He used to practice with me on every Sunday. And we said, we are going to do the race together, start to finish. And everybody was saying, you all are mad. We don't think you can, you know, keep pace, so much pace together that you can finish together. But we finished the race together. A very positive person. And both of us had said, there is no way we'll give up this race. We are going to finish the race. And it's a tough race because there are a lot of cutoff times. And the race has to be over in 12 hours. I did it in 11 hours, 34 minutes, because I just wanted to finish the race. That time, very few Indians were into this race. Afterwards, the rush started for this race.
Right.
So like the minute I finished the race, I was so happy, so happy, so happy. I can't tell you. And today also, people remember me for Comrades, not for Khardungla. That's a very, I always say Khardungla was challenging. So why don't you remember me for that?
Right.
But Comrades was a great race, I must say. Very well organized, very, very good, very tough. It was an uphill run, 87.7 kilometers. And it was tough, but actually, if you are trained well, I think the race becomes very easy. The training is the main thing. You have to enjoy the training, and the result will follow. So I finished the race with a big smile on my face. My husband was too happy to receive me. And I could have gone on with the race if there were a few kilometers more also. So that's how it was.
And that prompted you to come back and register for Khardungla the following year. Is that it?
Yes.
And you said there's no stopping. Now
I wanted to do something more, you know.
Yeah.
So I went for that.
So then again, my question is, that's at a higher altitude. This is not at such a high altitude, but then it's all hills and uphill and downhill and all of that. So would you say Khardungla is, though distance-wise it's shorter, it's tougher of the two then?
It's tough because of the conditions over there, you know. You go one day before to the Khardung village where the race starts. Yeah. You stay in a place, it's a place where there is no electricity from evening till early morning. And, I was wearing all my race clothes one day prior to the race. I slept with it, and 3 o'clock the race starts. It's freezing cold. And once you reach the Khardungla top and you are coming down, it becomes warm. So you have to shed your clothes. And
Right.
it's a tough thing, it's a tough race. I mean, Comrades is a very well-organized race. You have lots to eat on the way. You have lots of cheering. You have lots of people who come out. And when you see very old people, and on the bib it's written how many times you have done the race. And if you see old people just going past you with 12 races done, 16 races done, you feel, oh, wow, that's great. So
Yes.
very well organized race. Kadungla, okay, you have to be really tough for that race.
I'm sure. So you just spoke about how much support you received from your friends and family, and so that which brings
and I must mention one more name. Parul was one who, in the beginning she said, "Do you want to do this race, Pervin? I'll support you." And then Sandeep Bhandarkar came into the picture, and he trained me for both Comrades and Khardungla and the other races.
Right. So with this kind, I mean, I guess that goes a long way into where training is one part, but having this all important support from family and friends. So my question to the both of you is, women are supposedly born to multitask, and there's a lot of balancing that one has to do with. Radha just mentioned she was babysitting her grandchildren for a bit, but then she kept herself active by running shorter distances. How does all that how do you balance all of that? What does a typical day in your life look like at this point?
See, I was working when I started running. So I had to, in the last 2-3 years, I had to go to Andheri from Grant Road, from Babulnath. So it was a tough thing because if I have to run and take the fast train to Andheri, it was really tough for me. So I used to get up very early. I used to run for the train. 8:35 was my last train. Sometimes I used to be next to the train and I would miss it. So it was, but the support at home was so great that I could manage everything. And I was also looking after my old parents, and it was all, you can manage it. I think if you have the will to do something, nothing can stop you. And people who say that, no, we don't have time for running or for doing any activity for sports, I think that is not the thing. I would not take it because you have to manage your time. If you can manage your time, nothing like it.
Right.
So I think I had the support of everybody. So I was very happy.
Is that the same case for you, Radha?
Yes, Sadhika. For me, my in-laws stayed with me till their time here. So, especially last couple of years ago, I lost my mother-in-law. She was in bed for 1 full year. She was immobile and she was with me. My father-in-law died at 94. He was with me in Bombay. So, you have to get up early, plan your day properly, make breakfast, everything ready for them because they are all very old people. So all that, plus keep your husband happy, children happy, and then you go find your time. So before everybody could get up, we have to finish the run and come back home. So that the rest of the day you are a mother, you are a wife, and you are a daughter-in-law. So much we had to juggle, but all that is possible if your passion for running is there. That desire to run, that fire is in you. Nothing to stop. As she says, I had full support. My father-in-law, whenever I finish the race and come back with a certificate, he'll keep one chocolate ready.
So sweet.
Yeah. Every time when I finish a race and come, he knows how hard I work for that race and how much I train and stuff like that. So whenever I finish and come back, one chocolate I know Cadbury will be ready. He'll say, okay, show me the certificate and give one Cadbury. I still miss it now. Yeah. So, that small things, you need family support. But if you're alone and you don't have anybody to take care, or somebody is not there to take care of your house, it is still possible. Now, I see a lot of women into running, especially 40 and above. Gyms are filled with women, races are filled with women. We were 10%, 20%. Now I think we are somewhere near 40%. So we are able to manage very well because we have a strong desire to achieve. We are achievers, all women. This month
Correct.
is all
Yes,
about
yes.
women. We
Yeah.
want to achieve, and we've got the strength, both mental and physical. We have it. If we want to do it, we will do it without hurting anybody, without hurting the family business, nothing. We can do it. If she can do comrades and cardula and whatnot, again in the next year, everybody else can do it, isn't it? So if you don't start at 30, start at 40, 50, okay, start at 50, 60, doesn't matter. As I said, run, roll, walk, do something, but do it.
Yeah,
right?
It's all about keeping.
That is the spirit. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
which is pushing us forward.
Yeah.
We have challenges, but we will face it.
Right. Yeah. It's all about, at the end of the day, proper time management and prioritizing things, I would think. Yeah. And then
Absolutely.
you end up balancing. So Pervin, my question to you is something that's every runner's dream is qualifying for the Boston Marathon, of course. And you ran it at 62 years of age in 2017, am I right? And what prompted you to
Yes,
try out for,
2017.
yeah. So what prompted you to try out for, I mean, that's really tough to qualify and run. And then you got your PB as well at the Boston Marathon, I understand, right?
Yeah.
Plus,
Actually, I always say that age is on my side. So I was doing the Bombay Marathon, the full marathon. And when I was just, few kilometers away from the finish line, I all of a sudden realized that if I run a bit faster, I can qualify for Boston. And this was never at the back of my mind, though I had seen the qualifying time for my age category.
right.
So that is when I made up my mind that I'm going to run fast and qualify for Boston. And I did that. And and Boston actually to date is my fastest timing, 4 hours, 16 minutes. So that's how I qualified for Boston, not knowing or not having planned that I need to qualify for it. And once I qualified for Boston, I ran Boston. Then I made up my mind, I'm going to do the 6 majors. So after that, I did London, and what else I did? Boston, London, New York, Berlin.
Yeah.
Tokyo and Chicago, I was already registered for last year, but of course it couldn't happen. So next year I'm going to do both these races, and I would have finished my 6 majors then.
Wonderful.
So that's how Boston goes. Unplanned.
Unplanned, but to date, it's still your PB, right?
I'm very happy.
Some things just happen, eh?
Yes.
And how about the training for qualifying? Was it pretty much the same as your other runs, or did you have to do a more focused kind of?
Actually, I was not knowing that I want to qualify for Boston. It was never in my mind.
Right.
And all of a sudden, it happened at the last few kilometers. When I saw my timing, I said, "Oh, if I run fast, I can qualify." And that is how I ran. I gave my all. In fact, my husband Kushru was at the last few meters, and he's asking me, "What's wrong with you? Are you all right?" I said, "Don't talk now. I have to qualify." And I did it.
Right.
So it was just a fluke, but I qualified.
Yeah. Radha, here's a question to you. You have the distinction of being the first Indian female Reebok certified trainer. So that, how did that come about, that whole journey? You became a fitness coach and then you got the certification quite early on.
I was in Korea for 4 years. I was kept running only. So when I came back to Chennai, I joined aerobic dance class, and they saw my fitness and they thought I have a good teaching skill too. So the lady who ran the studio asked me to become a group exercise instructor. She taught me how to do group exercise classes, and then I started teaching group exercise in 1990. In 95, my husband got transferred to Delhi, and Reebok came into India in 1995. Right. So they advertised and called for instructors for group exercise. They have a wonderful certification program, which I ran for 17 years for them. So they called, and I also enrolled. And when I enrolled, I was already 45. But all the girls were 16 and 15 at that time. So I was like a mom for them in the certification course. But given my fitness, and I have a science background, and my sister is a doctor, so I came out with distinction, and they made me in charge of the entire Alliance program. And that's how I joined Reebok. So they asked me after 2-3 years when I did very well, what do you want? You want bonus or you want? I said, I want more education. Send me abroad. I want to learn more about fitness. So they sent me continuously for the next 5 years abroad to study all the certification programs for a sports conditioning and group exercise and personal training. That's why my whole career changed in 95. Instead of just casually taking group classes, I became a certified trainer. I went to Singapore, and they sent me to US into Boston. Boston, they have their head office. So that's how I became a first master trainer, and then I became a strength and conditioning coach, and then the whole life changed into what it is now.
Right.
So
your approach to start with was very scientific, you say, having been there, done that on the field. And then, as you say, you were a science student as well. So that's what does strength and conditioning expert actually mean?
Yeah. A personal trainer is someone who comes to your house, or you go to the gym and get trained for your personal goal. Strength and conditioning specialist is some specialist for sports conditioning. So if you are a volleyball player, you are a runner, you are a cricket player, if you are a tennis player, then you hire a strength and conditioning coach who will look into your goal and then make you stronger, strength-wise, conditioning-wise, and prepare you for the performance. So it's a high-performance specialist program, which I did in 2008. And then I got into Tamil Nadu and Bombay, and then into the Indian team.
Right. So now, for both of you, this is a question for the both of you. What would you say have been the biggest, the key takeaways and the biggest learning since you began running from learning itself?
So actually, running brings a lot of discipline in your life.
Right.
It brings a lot of discipline. It makes you more productive during the day, and you are ready to face any challenge. It prepares you for any challenge in your life, and that's it. It gives you a positive attitude. And running, you make so many friends. You really make so many friends. Your life changes.
Right.
Like once I retired, not a day I have felt that, oh, what am I doing? I'm not doing anything. I felt so full of life. My second innings, I think, is better than my first innings. So running has helped me in a lot of ways. I go party, I go dancing, and I have got so much to do. I don't have time, actually. I don't have time for anything else. So it's a beautiful thing. Discipline, hard work, good health, and that's it.
Apart from that, it would have definitely had an impact on your mindset, your way of thinking,
Yes,
etc.
positive.
Yeah.
Positive thinking. Yes, very much, very much.
Would you agree with that, Radha?
Yeah. To me, running is meditation. Because when you go run, you forget everything else. You don't think about home, you don't think about work, you don't think about any stress, any problem in life, because there is no time for all that. You and your body, and you're covering space. So that's a beautiful feeling. To me, it's more meditation, and I just love it. So of course, it has brought into my life a lot of discipline and planning for anything. And running has also taught me how to face the challenge. And you can't win all challenges. Sometimes you lose, but how do you take it positively and plan for the next one? So that has kind of rubbed over into the rest of the part of my life too. So there are some challenging times in real life, right? With family and work and stuff like that. Everything now becomes easy. If you can achieve running and a marathon race, you are mentally ready to achieve any other challenge in life. So it has taught me patience to finish the race, patience to train regularly, discipline, and above all, it's a stress buster. It's a great meditating time for us. So,
would you also say it's a time for introspection and reflection about yourself when you're running?
Exactly.
I think most of us would relate well to that. Yeah.
It tells you what your body is, what you are capable of, both physically and mentally.
Correct.
If you can finish a race, that means it shows that you have the mental capacity to face something and do it right? So that's one positive thing that we need to take from running. And kudos to all runners who have taken up lately or earlier that they continue to pursue and achieve more things in life, because it's going to help them throughout their life.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of people who have taken up running post 40, because that's when you go a little easy with your career and family responsibilities in our own Hyderabad runners. Now,
Agree.
Radha, yeah,
For me, it has become a career itself. My
yeah,
fitness.
yours, yeah, you've always been in fit.
I don't have to think about any other career. Now
Right,
this is
right.
career.
That's true.
So
That's
at the
true.
expense of others, I am enjoying.
Yeah. But again, being a fitness trainer and a coach, and then transitioning to long distance running is just two different things altogether. But you've done it seamlessly, so that's so great to hear. Now, tell us a little bit, Radha, about your experience of working with the women's Indian women team. They made it to the World Cup final in 2017. I think they lost by a narrow margin to England.
9 runs.
Yeah, 9 runs or 10 runs, yeah, if I remember right. Uh, I read somewhere that there were some fitness issues that the women's team was facing at that time, and you did help to a large extent for them to overcome all of that. So could you tell us something about that?
Yeah, actually, I don't know how much I contributed, but we did really well. And fitness has always been an issue earlier, and now it's much better. There is a lot of focus on fitness.
Right.
So I happen to be at the right time at the right place, I would say. So having done Mumbai and Tamil Nadu as a state strength and conditioning coach, I got a chance to attend the training program at the National Cricket Academy in Bangalore in 2015. So I was the only lady who wrote the exam. There were many people who attended the coaching, but people didn't write the exam for various reasons. We also had a Bharat Bandh on that day. So many issues happened. So others couldn't even reach. I wrote the exam and I did very well. So I got the chance to gel with all these senior women players like Mithali Raj, Julan Goswami, Harmanpreet Kaur. And I usually watch them and say, with my jaw dropping, none. And now I'm going and training with them. I was a little harsh, I think, because being a runner and an athlete, I drilled nicely running into their head, and they all did well. Actually, the hard work was put in by those girls, thanks to my coach, Mr. Tushar Arote, who also gave me free hand in training part of it. So we had a great run at England, and then I knew what it gets to be at that top level. The players, so much sacrifice I do. This is at Lord's, as you can see. This is the famous Lord's balcony with my all support staff, manager, and my physio and fielding coach and video analyst and all that. We had a great team and we gelled very well. And you know what? I'm the oldest in the group, so I was like a mummy to most of them. But we had great fun. Lot of nice experience I got traveling with the team, and I got a chance to meet Prime Minister Modi. When we came back, congratulated. It was so nice, going there and shaking hands with him, and he took so much interest in congratulating women. And from that time onwards, no turning back. Everything is upward arrow for the women cricket. Now more girls are coming into it.
Yes,
so
of course, it's been doing very well too.
Yeah, they are doing really well, and hope more girls will come into cricket and make the country proud.
Yeah. Would both of you get? Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Radha. You were saying
something?
This
is a nice photograph I like.
Yeah,
Thanks for
the famous Lord's balcony. Yes, that's where Kapil Dev in 1983 took that famous picture holding up the World Cup. Same balcony. Yeah, I know that.
This is the same balcony where Saurav Ganguly took off his shirt and he did that. Remember?
Yeah. So here's who would you credit with having been both of you? Who would you credit with having been the biggest influence or influences in all of your running career so far?
Okay, so I would say my 3 trainers. First was Savio D'Souza, Sandeep Bhandarkar, and now because of the lockdown, I was at a loose end. So there were no races coming up. I don't believe in virtual races. So I was thinking, what should I do? So I joined Sunil Menon, who is into the heart rate training, the MAF training, maximum aerobic function. So I joined him. He's a wonderful person, a superb trainer. He himself is an Ironman, and he's a runner himself. So I joined that, and that's why I say that these are the 3 people who have brought me to a level where I am. And with Sunil Menon, I feel I'm going to do my other 2 races next year very well. And then I want to go on to, in the end, I want to do an Ironman. That's my dream. And I always believe that if you dream big, you will achieve big. So that's my dream. So let's hope I can do it. Since he's also an Ironman, he's going to guide me. And he puts in a lot of effort with his trainees. Like there are 3 days, which, 4 days I run and 3 days are for yoga, for strength training, and for foundation training. So everything is covered in that, and I'm very happy. So these
Radha,
are
how
the 3
about you?
people.
I would like to thank my PT teacher who saw the potential in me at the age of 12. And I always thank her. I can never forget her in my life, because if she hadn't spotted me then, I don't think I was what I am now. And of course, Dr. Kannan Pugarendi and all my fellow runners. There are a lot of friends I have who run with me in the morning. You know, Sagarika, it's very difficult to run early in the morning at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock alone for a lady.
Yes,
It's
of course.
very risky.
Of course.
You need, for long runs, you need some male counter.
Absolutely, I agree. Yeah.
That way, I have plenty of people to list is to bathe. In a place like Karur, we got transferred to a place called Karur, which you may not be even know in the map. It's a small town.
I do.
It's a
I do.
small town near
Yeah.
Salem. So when I was going there, I asked Ashish contractor in Bombay, look, I'm going to Karur. Is there any runner in Karur? What will I do when I go to Karur? This is after winning the first Mumbai Marathon. Before the second, I'm back in Karur from Bombay. He said, don't worry. He saw the list and immediately picked one name. One Mr. Sendil Nathan is there, gave me the phone number. I went there, caught hold of Sendil. The first thing in the morning is to call Sendil. Caught hold of him. He was very happy because he found another runner and we started a small club there. So there all the men used to run with me early in the morning on a Salem highway, because the place itself is small and we run on the highway. There is no light there. All trucks are going past very fast, but these men used to run with me. I would like to thank all those runners, both in the Chennai and now Bangalore. I haven't found anybody, but Chennai, Bombay, I used to run on Marine Drive. We have a fitness center called Key in Kolaba Church.
Okay.
So there we have a huge running group. So we all run there together. So all those runners I would like to thank. And of course, my husband and family. And above all, God, who has given some kind of luck into my life and some blessings. So with everybody's help, we are enjoying life. I would like to thank all of them. Even Rajesh Vecha once from Hyderabad runners, I meet him in every race. So once when we were just going into Chaupati, just finished Babulnath and turning into the last 5. That's the last 5. I'm just going there towards Intercontinental Hotel, and he just went past. And Radha, he's looking at the sign, come a little faster. I said, where? My legs are moving, Rajesh, you go first. So that I couldn't catch up with him. But in Chennai, when I did 2 flat, that was my best time for a half marathon. When I did 2:00, he ran with me and he pushed and pushed and pushed. If I had continued with him, I would have gone sub 2, but I didn't have the courage. But with his pushing from 2:02 in Delhi, I went to 2:00 in Chennai. Of course, Chennai is flat area. There is no uphill, no this thing like Bombay. So I like to thank all of them who still think that there is some fire in me. Hopefully, after the COVID is gone, we'll come back on track.
Yeah, I'm sure he must be watching, and he's responsible for a lot of us having taken to run.
I also told him the Hyderabad runners race comes just near Vinayaka Chaturthi, and we have got a lot of Modak and all to do at home, and how will I come? He said, you want me to shift the Vinayaka Chaturthi or shift the Hyderabad runners date? He was laughing, but anyway, I'll still make it sometime.
Yeah, we'll see you here soon, I'm sure.
Yeah. Sagarika, I also would like to thank all my runner friends, because they have been a big support for me throughout my running career. Without their help, I don't think I would have gone anywhere. And all my family, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my husband, who has been a runner much before I started.
Right.
My brothers, my sister-in-law, my nephew, everybody, they have all been very supportive. And my colleagues, my running buddies, have been the greatest support. They always encourage me in everything I do. And because of them, I achieved a lot.
And Pervin,
Satvika, I have to add
yeah.
one thing. My son runs with me. He ran one half marathon and 10K. Bangalore 10K, we run together. We sign up together and went together. And I'm so proud because I don't think no mother can boast of running with their own son in the
Oh,
races.
that's
So
lovely.
he'll
That
say,
is so
Mommy,
lovely.
you can do, Mommy, you can do, come. And we both sign up for Bangalore races. And he ran with me long back. Bangalore, Britannia had a first half marathon somewhere in 2000.
Right.
I don't remember. That also we finished together. We trained together and we finished together, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, that's lovely. I mean, to run with your son, I think that nothing can beat that feeling.
Yeah.
Pervin, you
Yeah.
mentioned that your ambition now is to do an Ironman and then move to triathlons as well. So, I mean, that kind of, it's very much, you've gone from half to fulls to ultras and all of that. So, what motivated you to now try triathlons and then an Ironman? Because that includes two new disciplines altogether, swimming and cycling. So,
See, swimming,
this whole thing about
swimming, I
constantly
know.
challenging yourself,
Yeah,
or
yeah. And you have to do, there should be a goal,
right.
So then only you get lot of motivation. You get motivated to actually achieve that.
Yeah.
And I know it's a tall order, but I'm sure I'll get there. Because, Parsis live till 100 and I've got a lot of years still. So I don't think anything can stop me now.
This is a whole new take.
Yes. We live till 100 years. So I'm just 66 now. So I've got a lot of time at my hand. And of course, I have driven a scooter. So I don't think cycling is going to be a problem for me. Swimming also, I know. I did a 2K open water swim in Goa just 2 years back. So I think I can get there. And with the help of my friends, my new coach, Sunil, I think I'm going to be there.
Yes, I'm sure you will, and do us all proud, and we can all say, yes, I had the chance to interview Pervin.
Yeah. You call me again.
Yes, I will do that, of course. And Radha, you are also giving back to society in the form of running these two gyms, I understand, for children in the age group of 10 to 17 in Bangalore. Am I right?
Yes.
What exactly is it that you do, and is it a specialized kind of training, or what is it? Could you tell us something about that?
In normal gyms, the equipments are made for adults. The size of the equipments, if you see, are made for adults. Where will kids go? Because you have to start early. If you want to produce a wonderful team for India, then you have to start early. So I realized that these kids they don't have a place to go and train from the basics to get into the Indian team. Everybody has got a goal to get into the Indian women team or the men team, right? So these children start at the age of 10 and there's nobody to guide them. Then I realized, now that I'm age bar for other top teams, I said, okay, let me focus on the children from the age of 10 to, so no adults here, only 10, 11, 12, up to 17. Some of them are state players playing under 16, maximum under 19. So now, and they are very sweet kids. It's so nice to talk to them and train them because they don't have any ego, they don't have any attitude. They love. Yeah, and all my equipments, everything are made for children. I don't have big equipments or anything like that. All medicine balls and Swiss balls and Bosu balls and mini bands, and only a squat machine and a power rack for men, because boys at 17 are stronger. Otherwise, it's a very user-friendly, kids-friendly. So I'm like a grandmother only. They chit-chat with me, they play around with me, they pull my leg, and their fathers are happy because I am there to take care of their kids. So it's such a nice feeling. They know if I am there, it's okay to leave their children. So all cuties come, and what fun we have. So my husband and I decided, he played for Tamil Nadu State for a long time. He played for South Zone, and he also played once as a fielder for Pakistan, against Pakistan. So with his background, he's teaching a little bit of cricket and stuff. We also teach in a school on a regular basis, and 2 gyms. One gym is made by somebody else. I'm just going there to do fitness. Another gym I made myself with my own money. I said, even if I have to do only 5 years or 6 years, I'm going to get old. But that 5 years I want to give it back to the kids and girls. Girls are coming in because parents know that I am there.
Yeah.
A woman is there as a strength and conditioning specialist. It's a tough job. It's a men's world, but we are proving that we can also be there. And age is on my side. Like Pervin said, age is on my side. We have more experience, more everything. So they believe that madam can do it. So these kids come to me and I thoroughly enjoy. And I'm sure I will be able to produce 1 or 2 World Cup players.
It's such a fantastic initiative. I'm sure nobody ever thought of that. This whole tailor-made to generation next and to younger kids. And I'm sure they all look up to you as a role model as well. That's really fantastic. My congratulations on thinking of something like that. Yeah.
Everybody wants to train a top class team, but nobody wants to train an LKG person.
Right. That's true.
But that is where you have to start. That is where you can inculcate good technique and form, and then they go on from there.
Super.
Now, Pervin, you're also a COVID survivor. Definitely your running and overall fitness would have helped beat the virus. Would you agree with that? And how? You probably also bounce back much faster than other people, right?
I totally agree, because I was in hospital because I had to search for a quarantine place. It was not possible to do that in my house. And in the hospital, nobody treated me like a patient because I was looking after other people. So, so it was, I mean, it was a mental pressure because I was worried about everybody else whom I'd come in contact with, whether they would get it or not. So that was the only challenge. Otherwise, it was quite smooth sailing. And I think people have to be really careful. Now with the vaccine coming, I think things will ease out, but still, please wear your mask, have social distancing, and be very, very careful. It's not worth going through all this because it's more than the health part of it, it's the mental part of it.
Yes.
And I think I have come out quite strong. I'm just taking it easy for a week, walking and all, and slowly, gradually, I'll come back. You should take time because you don't know what has gone into your body, how weak it has become. So I'm going to take it very gradually. Even my husband was in the hospital with me. My sister-in-law was in hospital, and that is my brother's wife. And my sister-in-law had got it in May. So we were all like, my whole house has got it now, except my mother-in-law. Luckily, she's fine. She's 95.
Yeah, so I hope they will recover very soon and bounce back. Yeah.
So I think you should be very careful still.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
In the interest of time, we'll have to stop here. There are a couple of questions to each of you individually, which I will now read out to you. Sundar wants to know, Pervin, are you planning to do the Antarctica run at any time in the future?
I've not thought about it because I don't like the cold or too much of heat. Heat is okay with me, but cold I cannot bear. I can't bear the cold. So it's not on my list, but maybe because I said I've got a lot of years still and I'm becoming younger and younger and stronger. So maybe I'll do it. Let's see. You're putting something in my brain now to think about. Yes. Thank you, Sundar. Thank you very much.
And his question to you, Radha, is how do you view the future of women's running in the days to come?
I think it's going to boom, and we're going to break records. Many more Pervins will come, I'm sure, because now healthy people are surviving COVID better than people with comorbidities. So running is one way of keeping you healthy, and we all survived. I had my mother for a month and a half during COVID time, and I was going out to the gym and coming, but we all made sure that she was away, and I did not get in close contact with her and all, and we survived. So all, I think, credit goes to our running and fitness. So many more women will come, and it's going to be a boom, and we will have special women races too. And more than the pink and other things, we will have Cordula women, comrades women, and all kinds of women races will come now because we are going to overtake soon. So men beware.
Yeah, well, I like that sign of statement.
Giving them a challenge.
Yes.
It's Women's Month, yaar.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. So it's been lovely talking to you, ladies. Thank you so much for agreeing to join us. Your words have been motivating, to say the least. I've really enjoyed this session with the both of you. And now I'd hand it over to young Aru Pisht for her vote of thanks. Thanks very much once again, and have a great evening.
Thank you, Sagarika. Thank you, Pervin.
Thank you, all of you.
All the best for your Ironman.
And you too.
Tokyo and Chicago.
Thank you, Sagarika, for facilitating today's webinar. A few key takeaways from today's talk are that age is just a number. And you both talked about how you multitasked and juggled your work and family and running, but your passion and desire for running kept you going. You both overcame obstacles and learned from your mistakes, but still kept on going. You both are role models and inspiration for all women, but more specifically, veteran women to take up running long distances. Thank you so much, Pervin ma'am and Radha ma'am, for these valuable inputs. Our deepest gratitude for taking the time out and sharing your experiences and learning with us today. You both truly embody 60 going on 17, and I wish you both further more years and years ahead of running. And to our audience, thank you for spending time with us today. The recording of this event will be available on our Hyderabad Runners Facebook page as well as Airtel Hyderabad Marathon YouTube page. Please come back to watch again and share it on your social media profiles and to others who can benefit. Hashtag Hyderabad Runners, hashtag Beyond the Track. We'll be back next Saturday at the same time, and it being Women's Month, we'll be back with a women expert and yet another interesting topic for you. Until then, this is Arubish from Hyderabad Runners signing off. Stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.